2025 regular meeting of North Branford Planning and Zoning Commission to order. In attendance is our newest member, Chris Heon. It's his first meeting. Paul Marino, Gary Ponder, and I am actually Sherry Olenzi. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we will attempt the January 2nd and January 16th minutes, 2025. So the second was here. Ron was here.
Can't do that one.
Can't do this one. Is that, I did notice, was Scott Lanza even on this commission? Because he is listed, I didn't know
He never actually resigned,
but we have.
so
placed-
his term is now up, so he didn't need to resign.
Okay. But, so his name will stay on this because his name's on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So that doesn't need to change. All right, how about the January 16th meeting?
No, it's not here.
No.
Just maybe you online.
All right, we'll table those. Next order of business is under 4 is public hearing, possible action. We had no public hearings today, right?
No public hearings.
Yep. And then number 5, old business, no old business. And under 6, new business, we have A, 6A, application 20. Application 2024-27, 49 Computer Road, R40 zone. It's a site plan request under section 23, schedule A, line B1, to construct a 30 by 80 5-bay storage garage building to store athletic equipment and field maintenance equipment. Owner, Town of North Branford. Applicant, North Branford Public Schools. John Florio, agent.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm John Florio, Facilities Director for North Branford Public Schools, here representing Superintendent Scott Schoonmaker, who is at a Board of Ed meeting tonight. And you guys had some questions on some stuff. I know Dave had given you the our plan ahead of time. Hopefully answer some of your questions tonight. Give you these and I'll go over what this consists of.
Yes, sir. Oh, cool.
First question you guys had is what color it's going to be. If you look at the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 5 pictures, everything on the site is gray and white. All of our buildings on the athletic fields right now are gray and white. The gray building with white trim, as you see. The new high school is also gray and white. You see the gable end and the trim. So that's the color the building is intended to be. Gray walls with white trim and white overhead doors. All right. One of the second questions that came up was why are we building it out of wood and using texture 111? The history of this building is this is supposed to be a project with the students. This is supposed to be in conjunction with the tech ed class. We're trying to get kids who don't want to go to college, who may be mechanically inclined, who we try to tell them you can make a lucrative living in the trades. Tradesmen are out there making 6 figures, hands down. It's going to be a hands-on project for the kids, with the kids. That's why we wanted to build it out of wood, number one. That's one of the if we have somebody build it, they don't really have any hands-on. Number two, we got prices from Munger and PDS for putting up a steel building. If they put it on our foundation and they just did the building itself, $75 a square foot, $180,000. If they did soup to nuts, start to finish, $225 a square foot at $540,000. 32 years working for the Board of Education, I've never wasted taxpayers' money. And I'm not about to waste $180,000 or $540,000 for a storage building to put athletic equipment in. We could build this building out of wood. Okay.
You have a cost estimate? Just curious, since you mentioned the other.
What's
You have a
that?
cost estimate for your students and yourself to build it with wood?
We have an $80,000 budget.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, we have $80,000 put aside left over from last year's budget. We have a whole bunch of in-kind donations. I don't know if you guys heard. We have a company who wants to put the roof on for free. We have 2 electricians in town who want to do all the electrical work for free. We have a concrete man who wants to work along with us, giving us a heck of a deal. We have local contractors volunteering their time and labor. With the assistance of my staff and the kids, we can get this up for our budget.
Awesome.
The other photos you see is buildings that are around town, Park and Rec, youth football, Public Works. There's a bunch of buildings. They're all with Texture 111. So I asked the other departments if there were a question on using Texture 111 as far as maintenance goes. They said they were never told they couldn't use Texture 111. My staff maintains our buildings every year. We paint our buildings, the ones that are on the athletic fields. We paint them, we repair them. My guys are on staff. Doesn't cost the town anything but paint. I could buy a lot of paint for $180,000. If you look at my foundation plan says the top of my wall is a minimum of 1 foot above finished grade. I even like to go maybe 1.5 feet. So I'm not going nowhere near the ground with the Texture 111. Okay? One of the other questions you guys had was on lighting. Believe me, for 35 years we had storage trailers out there. We didn't have a light out there. I understand the security for the kids. If you look and see the other pictures, this is the brand new Public Works building. Those lights are the same exact lights we're putting on our building. They're above all the overhead doors, and they're on the gable ends. The electricians who are going to do the job, Victor Piandria from VP Electric, Mark DeLongo from DF&G, they have all the electrical fixtures, they have all the lighting fixtures, the exact same ones we're going to put in the exact same locations on this building as they are at Public Works building. And we'll light that area up for the students. As far as our electrical feed, the last picture is the feed. That underground, that power comes from the transformer in the student parking lot. It runs underground to what's called the trainer's building now. It used to be the old concession stand. There's two big electrical boxes there, and the electricians have already checked it. There's plenty of power to run underground over to this building, this new building. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. If you have any other questions, I'll be glad to answer them for you.
Minor question, are those LED? I think these
Yes, they are.
LEDs, right? Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They're all on light sensors.
I got a question. So you guys got like 80,000 to build this thing, or 180?
We have $80,000.
Did anybody put it out to bid to say if anybody could come in and build this for 80?
We have not put it out to bid because we want to construct this project ourselves with the students. We have area contractors willing to donate their time to come and show the students how to build this and work along with the students. I have a staff of 13. I've been in the building trade for over 50 years. My company used to build houses, used to build strip malls. We renovated the Connecticut Post Mall. I hold multiple Connecticut licenses. I'm going to run the job as a GC. The town already knows that.
The cost is just material.
Cost is just material. Right now, we're getting costs. There's 2 lumber yards on the Connecticut State bid list that we're getting prices for the lumber now. I already have prices from Rings End for the lumber and the trusses.
Who's running the power? The guys who were gonna, you said 2 companies, was it VR Electric, BP?
VP Electric and DF&G.
And those guys are gonna,
They're doing all the electrical work.
on their own, for nothing?
What's that?
Is there a cost to that? Or
No.
They're gonna dig the line to get the power to the building?
If Public Works is doing all the excavation work. Public Works, Board of Ed, Park and Rec, we all work together in this town. We do multiple projects together constantly. So Franny's like, I could send a guy down there to dig out that foundation, dig for the foundation, without a problem, dig the trench for the electrical.
Did we, I'm getting confused because I'm on inland wetlands and you presented the inland wetlands and I've had these conversations. We saw plans once.
Yeah, wetlands has approved it.
Yeah, no, I know, the plans, though. Have we seen the plans? Site plans? All right, maybe I just don't have it in my packet. Yeah, okay.
The
We
site-
put,
I've seen it.
we put it
through
right
inland
where,
wetlands. I'm just making
right
sure
where
these
wetlands
guys-
wanted it. That's where we put it.
Yeah.
My only
No,
concern
I know,
is-
I'm on that commission. I was getting confused.
Yep.
If these guys have actually seen
But we-
it. I've seen the plans.
My only concern is it floods over there, I would like to see, like you, higher, 3 foot, 2 foot.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you've been down there recently, but Public Works did a lot of work down there in that back corner
Yeah.
where that wetland area is, comes through there. They did a bunch of pipe work and fixed that culvert up. Nice, but wetlands did want it pulled forward. But like I said, we are we're
I
not,
know, you think you're high.
we're not we're not slab on grade. We're building walls with our slab inside the wall, inside, okay? So we are coming up. A lot, put it this way, we're gonna be a lot higher than our storage trailers were. Our storage trailers were sinking in the ground over there. But we did pull that forward. We pulled the building a lot more forward than the storage trailers were.
And then lights will be inside and outside?
The light's gonna be inside, outside. Exactly, we're gonna have outlets in there. Like I said, but
So there are no outlets on the plan?
no,
No, when we went through wetlands,
yes.
you said there was going to be no electricity.
No, there was always gonna be electricity.
No, that's not true. You
Yeah,
said
no,
there
it was always gonna be electricity.
Okay,
No plumbing.
okay.
It was always
There's
gonna be
no-
electricity and heating.
Right, because I heard that there would be, it's a climate control,
Yes.
so would you put like a mini split in one end?
Well,
just
no.
to kind of maintain?
We have hung unit heaters that we saved out of the old greenhouse that we're using mainly for heating. And we're putting one split unit for, if we want to say, air conditioning.
Well, because you need a couple.
Humidity.
And we have-
Days you'll kill the
Humidity.
And we have roof ventilators as well. We have 2 rooftop ventilators. Most of that equipment was saved from existing jobs.
So the only concern would be, Dave, with electrical, as long as they said that they were putting electrical.
Electrical was always in the
They
plan.
might not have put it on the plan?
Yeah, there's nothing on a plan about
So
lights.
you gotta get with him with the plan of electrical, how you're getting it there and all that stuff.
That we can do. That would, the
Hasn't
pla-
been shown on a plan
Where is it coming from?
where it's coming from, what the lights look like, how many
Yeah,
there are.
that's not a, we could definitely,
Right, but we
Get
we
you
need,
that.
we need to do it. We need to have a site plan that's, a site plan that somebody can come in who hasn't talked to you, can follow the plan and do what they're supposed to do. That's why we have,
yeah, no,
Site
we,
plan.
Yeah, I mean, it has to
we could
reflect
definitely show you
what we're doing.
where the electrical's going.
Yeah, so I think the Longo and the VR or whatever, VP electric, I guess if those guys are gonna come and do the electrical.
Yep.
You tell them, listen, we gotta submit a plan.
Yeah, we're-
pay Prior to, at least.
Yeah,
you know,
if
He's
you,
saying it's got
if
to
you
be
look-
reflected on this, right?
if you look at that
Just
plan,
reflect, this should reflect,
plan,
right? I mean,
They
pretty
did
much an
something down the
as-built,
line
right? I
with
mean,
the track.
on the as-built, it's not a problem.
yeah.
If you look at the
Something.
plan where we are, where's the other
Not
plan?
for nothing, but
Look
that-
on the side.
Replace
that's where
containers.
the old school was there, it's not gonna
There's-
look
Yeah,
like
okay, yeah, so basically, see this building right here? That's where the electrical is.
Right, okay, that's right.
It'll go straight, right to that building.
Dave, let me ask you a question. So, to make an updated blueprint, it would cost the town to upgrade, is that acceptable? Because at least you know where it's going, even though it has the old school there, it shouldn't make a difference, right?
no, but it shouldn't be very hard to put
We
lights on a
supplied the
building.
plan, we'll supply another plan updated with the electrical
Show how it's
service.
run and everything like that.
I mean, the building hasn't been approved by the council. I mean, there's a bunch of different hoops that we have to jump through to
Exactly.
get this done. It's
I gotta go through
February.
wetlands, I
We're
gotta
not
go
gonna-
through you guys, I gotta go through wetlands, we gotta go to the building department.
By the summer, and this way.
But as far as the site plan, if you guys wanna see electrical trench where electrical supply is coming, it's not a problem. Getting you an updated plan.
And what are you looking to get this done for?
Do you need the locations of the LED lights on the elevations?
Yeah, the location of the lights on the building and the cut sheet
Yeah.
showing me what light it is.
Yep,
that they're
that's not a
actually
problem.
putting, so everybody knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
I mean, this is just standard, it's not.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Like I said, I'm here tonight to answer your question.
Every applicant has to
Yeah,
provide
I'll-
this, it's not,
I don't have a
it's not
problem.
any different from any
I've
other.
been through zoning plenty of times,
Yeah.
you know, what you,
course.
everybody wants something different. What you guys want, I'll get you.
Yeah.
And you're ready for school year coming 25.
We want to do this, come springtime, be ready to put this up. In springtime. This springtime,
So for school
yes,
year
this spring.
25 starting, it'll be done.
By the time next school year starts, oh yeah, it'll be done.
What do you anticipate time-wise, banging it up?
Time-wise, we have to work, we want to work along with the students, so, you know, we're looking at a month or two.
And what are the students gonna do?
The students are basically, I mean, most of them are observing, okay? But what happens is, we built the ticket booth with the students, we built the press box with the students. The Board of Education has no problem with the kids in the tech ed class getting hands-on. We're not putting them up on ladders, they're not doing roofing, but they could carry 2x4s, they could lay out 2x4s, say, hey, this is why we build a header, this is why we do this. You could give them some electrical boxes and say, hey, this is where you nail them up. Any kind of hands-on that we could give the kids in a safe operation, no different than when they work in the tech ed class. The tech ed teachers will be on site the whole time. Kids will have safety gear just like we do any other project when we work with the tech ed kids. They'll have helmets on, they'll have safety glasses, they'll have everything
That's good.
they'll have their protection.
Yep.
We have rules we have to follow on the Board of Ed. With students, we follow the rules to the letter, but the kids in the tech ed class, they understand, their parents understand that they have
So they're-
hands-on in certain situations.
So they're not doing the work.
They're not doing the work, they're not doing the bulk of the work.
No, I understand,
But they are getting to see that.
Good.
Maybe one or two of them, maybe half a dozen of them. You say, hey, I want to get into the construction business. That looks pretty good to me.
What do you got for
Let's-
roof? Is that asphalt shingles?
What's that?
Roofing is asphalt?
The roofing is asphalt? Yeah, the roofing company who put the roofing on the intermediate school.
Yeah.
We had such a good working relationship with them, with building access, working along with them. Their owner came to me, heard about the project and said, I want to donate an asphalt roof and labor. I want to put it on that building because you work so good with us.
It's awesome.
So on the school project, usually there's a 10% overflow. Is there anything coming from the school project, bricks? Anything material-wise coming off of that?
Anything coming from the
So everything-
school project?
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna bring us back, can we talk about the colors and stuff? Because that was a point, we just wanna give them guidance, because that came to us. Let's
I would
talk about
assume-
that, the color and then the texture 111, that was
Yep.
another comment that came.
So the texture 111 comes gray primer. We're gonna paint it gray, the same colors we use on all of our stuff out on the fields. We get it right at Country Paint Hardware. The trim will be PVC, we don't have to paint that.
So the color's gonna be the same as the little shed
The-
that's out there now?
The gray and white, just like on the front page there.
We fixed the bathrooms in the,
No,
Yeah.
concession stand?
What's that?
out there? You fixed the bathrooms in the concession stand?
I think
the
what I'm-
bathroom,
what
the
I'm
bathrooms
hearing
in the
is-
concession
They haven't
stand.
worked in 20 years.
Yo, people, I don't know how people say they don't work.
Do they work?
They've worked right up to the time when the old school was demolished and they shut the water off.
Ah,
Until they tied the water line back in, we had no water to operate them for 2 years. But prior to that, those concession stands worked. As long as I've been here, I was part of that project.
I think what I'm hearing from you is the color and texture 111 is pretty consistent with what
Pretty
we're doing
consistent throughout
and
the town.
colors that are existing there now, so.
Throughout the town. I mean, that's
I don't know
what's
if you guys have
existing
any other
and,
comments to that?
yep.
Since that comment came from our commission, so I don't know if you want to discuss that.
The color?
Yeah, do we have
As long
an
as it's
issue with the color?
consistent, I
Yeah,
agree.
texture 111?
Anything that's on the property now, I mean, I don't want one building to be purple,
Yeah.
one to be gray, and one to be green.
If you see, the ones that you see purple, those are the other departments.
Yeah.
That's Park Rec up in Northford Playground.
Yeah.
That's the football field over behind the old police station. They're purple, that's not us.
Got it.
Our buildings are all those 5 in the front, they're all gray and white on the athletic fields.
Okay, yeah. I think it later, if DPW is looking for extra work, we can make all town buildings all consistent.
Yeah.
You guys stay very busy, so.
What do we need? Do we need to see that plan again, or can we,
Yeah, I would table it until we see a plan
table it? to-
that has the lighting and
Okay,
the access way.
all right, so we'll need that. Do we have any other comments or any feedback?
Anything else I could get for you? This coming week, I will get Dave an updated plan showing the electrical trench.
Unless you want to go with we'll pass it with the stipulation of he gets to you what you need.
Yeah, that's.
I'll give him everything you
That's
need.
what I was asking, yeah.
I think you just want to lay it open.
I think-
There's no approval from the town
Yeah, that's
council
what I
to
was
do
gonna
this
say.
yet.
Yeah.
It's going to end up going to the permanent project building committee. There's a whole bunch of hoops.
I think if we were holding you up to start, I would kind of consider
Yeah,
that.
we were.
It sounds
holding
like
you up, I think we should.
we'll just come, unfortunately, we have to come out here one more time, and you'll have everything in
I
place.
don't have a
and
problem.
think
I'm just-
It'll be smooth.
As far as
Well, 'cause he's
timeline, I
gonna-
just like to have it ready for springtime.
Yeah,
It's going
Right.
to need all that stuff
Well, that's what I'm
to
saying.
get through everybody else.
no, that's what I'm saying, so I don't think there's urgency to it. So we
That's
can-
not a
see it again.
problem. As far as the lighting,
That's it.
lighting schematic, I'll have my architect, Scott Small is my architect. Call Scott up, he'll put the lighting on the building on the plan.
And just how they're running it, that's all.
He'll show where the trench is, he'll show where
We need
the
a spec
trench is to
sheet
the
for you,
building.
right? Yeah.
And I could give you a cut sheet of the lighting if you like.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Provide that to Dave next week.
Yep,
that's that.
great.
Is there anything else I can provide for you?
I think we're good, right, guys? Yeah, okay.
Thank
sir.
you,
Thanks,
guys, I
Tom.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Good luck with it.
Thank you, Dave.
great great project.
So
Wish
we'll
they had those
table,
when I
we'll
was-
table that till the next meeting.
Yeah.
Put it on for next
Do we need a motion or anything?
Yeah, you should make a motion.
Yeah, someone make a
I'll
motion.
make a
to table.
motion to table it for the next meeting. He already knows what he's got to bring.
Yep.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. All right. Motion passes, we'll table that to next meeting. Okay, next on the agenda, 6B, application 2025-2, 28 Branford Road. It's an I2 zone. It's a site plan request under section 23, Schedule A, line C-1.2, to allow a closed-door pharmacy within the building to serve in-house patients only. Owner, Brigham Group Realty Incorporated, applicant, Genoa Healthcare, Gorton Poe. Gorton Poe, yes.
That's me.
Yep,
You can call me Gordy.
just name and affiliation, address, things like that.
Gorton Poe. I am pharmacist and sales director for New England for Genoa Healthcare. 8 George Hill Road, Grafton, Massachusetts, 01519 is my address.
Excellent. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm not sure what questions you guys might have. I don't know if you want an overview of Genoa. Is that helpful first?
Certainly an overview of the proposal, but if it helps to give an overview of,
Yeah, so,
Are you affiliated with the APT Foundation?
no,
You know what the APT Foundation is?
no. I do not.
BH
Yeah.
Healthcare, how do you merge with BH Healthcare?
So Genoa Pharmacy is We are the fourth largest pharmacy in the nation by number. We have over 750 locations. You've not heard of us, right? Nobody's heard of us? Right. And the reason for that is we are a closed-door pharmacy. So when we partner with an agency like BH Care, and our primary partners are community mental health centers, we target the underserved population that receives a lot of stigma, has a lot of issues with transportation, medication adherence, you name it, they've got an issue with it. So we partner with community mental health centers to service these individuals, along with the IDD population, intellectual developmental delay. So that's our target customer. Require very high touch services. But when we partner with our agencies, we place the pharmacy on site within their clinic center, and we pay for the entirety of the build out. We staff the pharmacy, we run the pharmacy, and we charge, our partner agency gets to charge us rent for the space we occupy within the building. That's kind of our overall model. We are a closed door pharmacy. We do not service the general public, which is why you haven't heard of us. We are owned by United Health Group. I'm sure you've heard of them. So we are part of that group, but we do run separately as Genoa Healthcare. It's kind of our basic model. I don't know if there were any specific questions to that.
So you partner with agencies, not the community?
That's correct.
So you're not like a CVS?
Correct.
So whoever is occupying the unit, so are you part of BH Health? Are you going to be in their unit? Are you going to be in?
No, we are our own agent, our own company. So we just rent space from them, and then we provide pharmacy services to their population or the individuals that they serve.
So are you renting unit 101, 102, or 103? Are you renting a unit separately from BH, or are you going to rent?
It's embedded within their clinic, so it's adjacent to they have a space for us that's adjacent to their lobby, so we just break open a wall into that lobby, we put a transaction window there, and then the pharmacy will be back from there, the operational area will be back from there. Typically, we also have an access in the rear for agency staff, so they can come to the pharmacy. The prescriber may have a question for the pharmacist, they may need to collaborate. So that's kind of the layout. But our pharmacies are small. They're not, when you think of...
So you guys, if you're a small pharmacy, what's your focal point? So you're not giving out aspirin, you're not giving out...
If there's a good statement of work
Any-
in the packet too that states some things. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And no, any prescription that we feel, or any medication that we feel has to have a prescription, even 81 milligram baby aspirin. So we don't carry any out over-the-counter products. We do carry them, but they require a prescription, I should say. We are we're a small shop. We're not a volume business. We're trying to serve the underserved, right? So our staff is going to be a pharmacy manager, local to the area. There will be usually 1 or 2 pharmacy technicians. And then depending on needs, we may have a full-time driver that we hire to deliver meds to different programs that the agency may have, individuals' homes.
But at this particular location,
Yep.
your clients are bused in, Ubered in, or they walk from BH to you?
Well, we're going to be in the BH Care clinic. We're actually going to be inside their clinic, so the prescribers they see the prescriber.
Is it only their clients, or let's say I'm not a client of BH Healthcare, but I want to come see you, could I or no?
That is a kind of a gray area. So here's our, the caveat with our licensure is that we cannot advertise.
So what was that?
Like the caveat with our licensure, like
Layman's terms are better. There are a lot of people watching.
the restrictions with our licensure, if you will, is that we cannot advertise to the general public. We can't have exterior signage. We can't have billboards. We can't have commercials, anything like that.
So your major focus would be BH Healthcare.
Correct. Those individuals.
And whoever goes there. per
Correct.
se,
Under the umbrella of care at BH Care, yes.
And
That's
not
it.
part of APD.
If you,
So,
just to answer your question, but if you did come to our pharmacy,
Yeah.
and you heard about us through the grapevine or something, I could fill your prescription,
Yeah.
but that may not be something that BH Care wants to have you come into their building if you're not under their umbrella of care. So what I might offer to you is that I can fill your prescription, but I can mail it to you. So you don't have to come in the building, free of charge. Sorry.
Okay. No, because you were starting to say things that were inconsistent with this, because I thought if I read it, because I read it before this, it was pretty clear that it's only BH, whatever the name of that company is.
It is, yeah.
But you were just suggesting that if I heard through the grapevine, I could come. So that's different than what this says.
I'm just saying it's not,
You were saying, like, I think there's like a community health that you could support, but that would only be
Yeah.
mailing and, or deliveries. That they
Right.
wouldn't be coming. So then what you said is inconsistent with this. So now I'm confused.
well, let me
I
put
read
it,
this and it seemed pretty straightforward.
so, yeah, we can't advertise to the general public, right? Cannot. However, if you hear about us and you come to the pharmacy for a prescription, as a pharmacist, I'm going to give you the best continuity of care that I can, right? That's my job as a pharmacist. I took an oath to do that. I'm not going to turn someone away, right? Because my level of care is going to be way better than other pharmacies in the neighborhood. I'm not going to name names, but I know it is. We have 750 plus pharmacies to prove it. What I would suggest to you, though, is that although we can't advertise to you, and it's not against the law for us to fill your prescription, because of insurance issues and restrictions that the agency may have, they may not really be allowed to have you in the building, right? So what I would say is, as a pharmacy, I could offer to fill your prescription, but maybe you shouldn't be able to come in the building. I could mail it to you, deliver it to you. But these are rare circumstances. But the reason that exists, and I can give you a great example, St. Johnsbury, Vermont last year, devastated by flooding, right? Devastated. Walgreens left town. They have one other pharmacy in town. We are embedded in one of their mental health clinics in the town. The town reached out and said, look, we need pharmacy help. The public has to have pharmacy services. Can we use you guys? The clinic agency we were in cleared for the public to come into the building in their clinic, and we were able to service those individuals through that pharmacy into the community.
But
So,
in this particular spot, you'd be only dealing with the healthcare people, you wouldn't be outside people.
correct, yeah,
Unless we had a flood, we wouldn't be dealing with it.
right. There would be no reason, yeah.
And your prescription medications are primarily behavioral health and not anything else? I mean,
Well,
the most part, you mentioned.
yeah, the
aspirin.
so medical side too, like diabetes, heart medications, blood pressure medications. We want to fill all those for the individuals because we want to be able to identify drug interactions and duplicate therapies and that type of thing. So any individual that they see, we would like to fill all their medications.
So dealing with BH Healthcare, there are people struggling with mental health, substance abuse, domestic violence, and other health risk behaviors. So that's what BH does, so you're basically, under them, right?
Correct, so we would,
You're only working in conjunction with them, because you're not taking outside people, you're only, whatever BH does, you guys supply.
we would be collaborating with their prescribers to assist those
So
individuals,
with
yes.
each mental health, substance abuse, domestic violence, and other treatments. But that BH is also under AP Foundation, but you don't know nothing about AP Foundation, but BH Healthcare is also disorder of mental health, substance abuse, outpatient service. So
Correct.
BH Health is out and inpatient or just outpatient?
Just outpatient.
So they are outpatient, again, the mental health, primary staff, AP Foundation. So then you come in as.
Are you do they own the building and you're going to be a tenant of
That's
them?
correct, yep.
Okay. Are they here?
One representative is here, yes.
Because at some point, I mean, is there anyone here that can talk us through some of the plans and what they, 'cause that's what we look at as well, So we're looking, we want to know the business model and things, but we also need to know the plans.
So the plans are all internal to the building?
Yeah, okay.
There's
Yeah.
no exterior
So it's just.
work whatsoever?
That's true, yeah. So it's just a build out of, is it shell right now, shell space, or is it?
It's a welcoming area that they're gonna redo, so when you come in the building, there's a receptionist, and they're gonna create a new area, so as you come in, you can go to the drugstore, as you come out, you can go get your drugs.
But it is a shell, yes, correct.
It is a shell space, okay.
And that building is funded by government, we'll say, right? So are you in 101, 102?
I can't remember the suite
What do you
number. Do
mean
you,
suite you
do
guys
you know,
have?
sir?
How many suites are there, Dave? 3?
Building A.
And yeah, but A1, A2?
Those are the door numbers that have more than, the building isn't broken up into units, but it's the door numbers that would be adjacent to door A.
That's all government funded, right?
It's state and government, yes.
So,
It's the south side of Building A, right? It's as far
Yes.
away
As far
from the
the
driveway.
entrance as possible, yes.
You might need to get your name in, on record, just so, because you were speaking. I'm just, that's why I was wondering if you're here, because you're making statements like, you know, it may not be what they want. And if you're there, I'd like to hear what you want, right? I mean, if they're working on behalf of, or, you know, behalf of you, it would be interesting to know. Because there's a little you're speculating a little bit, you know, we could do this, but I don't know if they don't want us to. Well, you're here, so let's hear what your vision is for this arrangement.
You want me to come up?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind, maybe we need your name anyway and who you're affiliated with.
My name is Sarah Magistro, S-A-R-A, M as in Mary, A-G-I-S-T-R-O, affiliated with BH Care. I'm the Clinical Director of Behavioral Health Services, also a North Branford resident.
so you guys are BH Health, and you're state funded or government funded project?
Yes,
So you guys hold a couple, in that building, which is large, you guys are majority part?
so we take up the entire Building A, and then Building B, we own the top floor of.
So that means just a little part left.
Right, so the bottom floor of Building B is not ours.
So that whole building, which is a giant building in our town, pays how much tax?
I have no idea.
0.
I'm a clinical person, not a
Yeah.
business person, I will say that, so that's not something that I'm knowledgeable
$200,000
about.
in taxes by having you guys in the town.
This is let's get
Just
the
put that
planning
on
and
record.
zoning, our planning and zoning hats on.
Right, we do.
It's another.
And now we're bringing in another
Yeah.
entity underneath that
No, no,
entity.
right.
Right, and wants to bring in drugs to the town and
Yeah.
handle with BH Healthcare, which is a good provider, good place, right? But for the town, we got 0. Big property, 0.
I'm sorry, that's not something I can
That's
speak
not
to.
your forte, but I'm just putting it on the record, that's where we stand. So now we're getting in a pharmaceutical company that's only gonna work hand in hand with them, which has nothing to do with the town, which only has to do with you guys, which trickles down to API, which handles certain type of things.
I'm not sure I'm sorry, API?
APT, I'm sorry, APT.
Are you referring to the App Foundation?
Yeah, so when you go online and Google you guys fall under, or they fall under you.
We are not affiliated with the App Foundation, that's a different organization
You
than,
know what it is.
no, we're not.
You don't know what it is?
No, I know what the App Foundation is, but that's not our organization.
Similar?
No, they're a different provider.
So what you guys provide and what they provide, which is the same thing, you're not similar?
We're not the same agency. There's a lot of
Right, they're different
agencies.
people than you, but what you do and what they do is similar.
App Foundation is more like a methadone clinic, substance use disorder provider. While we do treat substance use disorders, we don't provide methadone, so that's a big difference between the two agencies.
They do outpatient, you do outpatient.
Correct.
You do inpatient here or no?
No.
So what is, to answer the question I had, what is your idea of this pharmacy? Is it going to be as he described? Meaning it's going to be supporting your clients, but there's a potential for other people to call if they hear word of mouth, or?
Correct, right. The idea is that we want to make services accessible for our clients. A lot of them do have transportation difficulties, medication adherence. They are on a lot of different medications because they have a lot of different medical issues as well. And for our staff to work with all different pharmacists, it makes it more challenging too. So we really want that relationship with one place where we can really make sure that our clients get the best care possible.
Right, your clients, but you were suggesting that there could be others. I'm just trying to understand that because.
I don't think organizationally-
I think if you want, we can condition an approval on that it's
I'm just-
in-house only.
At this point, I'm just trying to understand it, because this seemed to be crystal clear, unless I read it wrong. I read it a few hours ago.
I mean, organizationally, I haven't been aware of anything where a decision has been made that, again, if somebody came in and said, I can't find my medication anywhere, can you help me? That they would, what our response would be. So I'm sorry, I can't speak to that.
Let me just put it this way, it's a very rare occurrence that would happen, that somebody outside the agency would come in. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's extraordinarily rare. But is it illegal? No, it's not illegal.
And you're there, you work there?
Yes, I do.
So a lot of people that come there, they get dropped off, or they get bussed in, or they take the bus, because it's on a bus line, right?
There's no bus line that goes that way, no. A lot of them take medical transportation, they drive themselves, they have friends or family drive them. So different.
My concern is
ways.
that building is starting to get a little busier, and you could attest to that. And what they're doing is they're walking in the street. So we need a sidewalk to get to the bus. That's right down there, so.
Where's the bus?
I think the bus is down at the light at the corner.
There's
So
no
they come
bus.
out around that sharp turn.
The nearest bus is on Route 1, down by the Parthenon, down all that way.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of foot traffic of people walking around there. So if we're gonna start getting an influx of a pharmacy, because people are coming to get their medication, and they're getting bussed in, driven in, Uber, Lyft, whatever it is, even community drop off.
Yeah.
Now they're in the parking lot, they're walking with their medication, they're gonna walk into the street. We don't have a sidewalk over there. There's no sidewalk on that crazy turn. So now-
Yeah, that's a bad,
now
that's a bad turn.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they did
Bad
stop the project. Didn't they stop the project, or they kind of had to come in and cut that wall down during the project or after the project? That was more when the building itself was being built. Wasn't there a problem?
That was a state requirement for sightline issues.
For the sightline issue, right?
Correct.
So now if we're gonna.
And the state part of that property is pretty high into the wall. So if you wanted to put sidewalks on private property,
We'd have to go
it would
down.
be difficult. If you wanted to put it on state property, if they would approve, then you'd have to deal with the state.
Sure, so you're seeing.
And there's no sidewalk up School Ground Road all the way to Route 1. If you have to go down to the Parthenon, there's not a whole lot of sidewalk down that direction either.
That's a problem.
I mean, I think you probably have had the same amount of foot traffic going up and down that road now that you had before.
Right, so, but now you got an influx of a medical center with a pharmacy, you know. Gonna get
I think
busy.
if- I
You're not
think-
there to do 2 or 3 people, right? How many people do you expect to have come into your facility when you're up and
Actually,
running?
yeah, our model's a little bit different. So because of a lot of the transportation issues that folks have, typically what happens is they'll see their prescriber, they're already in the building. So they'll see their prescriber, their caseworker, maybe their clinician. While that's going on, they've already called the medications into the pharmacy. We go ahead and fill those, and then on the way out, they pick them up, and that's it. So they're not really coming back. Also, we have free mailing service and free delivery. So most of the time, those individuals aren't coming in and causing any kind of clog up really in the waiting room or the parking lot. So it's if there's 2 individuals in our waiting room, it would be rare.
How many facilities BH Care has in the state right now?
That's a great question. There's 3 main clinics, one in North Branford, one in Ansonia, and one in Derby. There's some residential sites in Branford, Shelton, Ansonia area, domestic violence shelters. So smaller, but it's the 3 main clinics, and then the main kind of headquarters is in North
Do
Haven.
you guys have pharmacies in Ansonia and Derby?
Ansonia Clinic does, yes.
In Derby, not yet, or?
Derby is, I believe it's, and maybe Gordy, you could speak better to that. They can utilize the pharmacy in the Ansonia Clinic.
Correct. Yeah, I don't think Derby has quite the volume in that clinic to support an in-house pharmacy.
Okay.
Whereas, and to kind of speak to Paul's question too about volume, I think Ansonia, we've been there maybe 14 months to a half a year, and we're servicing maybe like 300 individuals. So it's not
300 individuals a week, a month?
total,
That's it?
300, yeah.
So how many times take them a week? How take them a month?
Usually that's going to be probably a monthly type,
You get 300 people a month.
correct, roughly. Yeah, but
And
it's
that's over there.
the same 300 people.
And the facility is the same scope as what the facility is here?
Very similar, yeah, they're almost identical as far as volume, I think,
And
so.
do you feel Derby, the people in Derby too?
We can fill for them, but that would be like, we would fill for them out of Ansonia and deliver to them, to those programs, just because they don't have the volume to support a pharmacy.
Yeah.
So we would just deliver to them,
Yeah.
or mail to the individual's homes.
Jim Miller?
Yeah, or deliver to the individual's homes. Yeah. Yeah, so again, I know it's a hard model to kind of grasp sometimes, but we're really servicing a population that is, has a lot of obstacles, a lot of hurdles, a lot of stigma tied to them. As a parent of a profoundly differently abled daughter, everything is a battle, right? Everything in my life is a battle for her, day after day. Eliminating pharmacy obstacles, going to a CVS, maybe you have odd mouth movements because of the medications you take. These are the people that we are devoted to serve because they cannot get the high-touch services they need in the general public, just like my daughter. But my daughter gets her meds from Genoa, and I never think about it. They come in the mail. There's probably prior authorizations that have to go on in the background, but I never hear about it. It's seamless. And that's the services that we need to provide for these folks. And that's why we're here and we partner with these agencies. 750 plus pharmacies in over 500 different agencies nationwide that provide these same services.
So Sarah, how many people are you seeing currently?
Our
How do you
census,
guess?
yeah, around maybe, our current enrollment, maybe 900 to 1,000.
Okay.
And that's
Just in North Brantford?
correct.
Okay. And the 900 to 1,000, how are they getting their medication now? Is it delivery through Ansonia or?
No, most of them are using pharmacies in the community.
Okay.
If you put that in-house, you'll take away from them going around the community, they just stop at you guys. They don't have to go around.
They will absolutely still have the choice. Our clients have the choice to get treatment medication anywhere that they want to, so we would not ever force anybody to. This would be a choice for them.
900,000, do you know what is there a capacity for that building and the amount of?
That's not at one time by far.
No, no, I realize that. I realize that, but at some point, right?
Yeah, I would say that we're well under, I don't know what the building
Yeah.
capacity is, but seeing what the volume is and the size of the building, my best estimate would be we'd be very well under capacity on any given day for how many people could actually be in that building. It's pretty large.
Yeah, no, I was meaning more just your whole business model.
Like how many can we-
How many you think
can
you
we
could
serve?
service? I don't mean at one time or anything.
Yeah.
Is that, are you thinking you're halfway or?
I mean, that's been pretty stable. We've
Yeah,
been
okay.
located in Brantford for 30 plus years. Census goes up and down, but it's been pretty stable. As you probably are aware, there is a very significant mental health need that has only gotten worse since COVID. I think we're probably at the height of a lot of people needing mental health care, and that's kind of where we are.
How long have you guys been there?
In North Brantford, we moved in November, but BH Care has existed
In that location?
since November 2024.
4 months, 5 months.
Yeah,
We got
approximately.
1,000 people, was it, you say it's 1,000 people?
Our census is about that.
And then, how long you been in Derby? Is that what's your main hub, Derby? Ansonia?
There's 3 different clinics. There's no main hub really. Can't speak to the census to any of those. I would say Ansonia is probably similar to ours. Derby is a children's guidance clinic, so it's a little bit smaller of a census. But
How long they've been around, the same time, or they're?
I don't know. No.
Any, there's no staff reviews, it's all internal, right?
It's all internal in terms of the actual site.
Yeah, so there's no staff review or anything, right?
No, and there's no actual conditions on the draft report I gave you because it's all about erosion controls and bonds and, you know, they're kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
This is just a change of use. It's an allowed accessory use to an allowed primary use. So clinics are an allowed use in the I2 zone, and this would just be an accessory use, and clearly a pharmacy is an accessory use to a clinic. It's a site plan review. You've got 60 days from the date of receipt to make a decision, so you can wait 2 months if you want. You can make a decision today. You can add a condition saying that only the members, the clientele of BH Care may use the pharmacy. How we're going to police that is a different question, but the zoning enforcement officer always has his ways of finding out who's breaking the rules. But that would be a reasonable condition.
So is that an open forum, that we're gonna close it, discuss, and?
This is not a public hearing, so we don't have to, we can continue it if we want to think about it more. I would just take the opportunity now to just ask questions, and then we can have that discussion, unless you don't have any questions.
Yeah, if I could just, maybe one other statement. I think probably, we have hired a pharmacist from the community who's already on our payroll. That will follow with a technician, right? They're in training now. If it doesn't pass, then that pharmacist will have to be let go. But in the event that it does, or in the event that you're thinking about it, it's just money that is going toward a pharmacist that is just kind of in limbo for the time being. They really don't know what they're doing when they could be providing services somewhere else in the community, and have a job ahead of them rather than kind of in limbo.
Sure. Do we have any questions for them before we talk about next steps with us?
My concern is just the sidewalk, but that has nothing to do with them. This application, that concerns me that this particular building is getting busier and there's a lot more foot traffic coming into the area. And,
Now, if you get a pharmacy approved, does that open up the BH Care to have more people to come in? Like, what would you advertise if you have the pharmacy?
So we don't actually advertise that we have a pharmacy. If somebody comes in our door, that would be another one of our services that we could offer to them, just like any other of our services. But it wouldn't be something that we would be saying, hey, come to us, we have a pharmacy. Somebody came to us already. We could let them know that this is available to you. If you would find it more convenient and helpful, we can help get you connected with them.
Have you noticed more people walking
I
on the
have
road?
not.
Yeah,
So like I said, I
don't
do
go
live
that
in
way all the
town.
time. I have not personally, but I'm
I-
not around during the day anyway.
The snow.
I don't have data to back it up, but anecdotally, a lot of our clients, like I said, have very significant medical issues. So for them, walking from a bus stop to our building would be pretty difficult. Some of them that can't even get from the medical cabin to the building without assistance. So the percentage that would actually physically be able to take a bus is probably not so great. Again, this is all anecdotal.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't have
understand.
actual data.
Yeah, appreciate it.
But a lot of our clients also don't live on a bus line. So even the ones that are capable of ambulating, walking to get from the bus stop to BH Care, they may live in North Guilford. So how are they getting from North Guilford to where the bus runs on Route 1 to then take the bus to
So
us?
you're in that facility, right?
To the North Brantford facility, yes.
All right, so where are the people coming from?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
So we cover 6
So where are
towns.
the people, I don't mind where the
Yeah.
BH Healthcare covers. Where are the people coming from? Where's the majority of the people that walk through that door? Where do they come from?
The majority of our clients live in Brantford. And they,
There's no site in Branford?
so we were located in Branford and we
You were.
located to North Branford. I mean, there's providers all over the place that provide, mental health and substance use disorder treatment.
You don't have a lot of North Branford, you got Branford, you got Northford, Durham?
No, not Durham, no.
Everybody's coming from another town into
No, we have North Branford residents as well.
Pretty localized, though. I didn't realize that.
What are the 6 towns?
So it's East Haven, Branford, Guilford, Madison, North Branford, and North Haven.
What happened with Branford?
The Branford as well. So our office there, we sold it when we relocated, so we're not offering the clinic services in Branford anymore.
Guilford, are you guys in Guilford?
We don't have an office in Guilford, but we serve people that live in Guilford.
Guys, have any other questions?
Okay. I'll make a motion. For 2025-2, I'm going to deny the application. If I have a second.
Do you want to have a conversation first, or?
Good.
Because we were talking, do we want to table it and think about it, or?
Yeah, I think maybe table it for,
So if you're going to deny it, this is a site plan application. So if it meets the requirements of the zoning regulations,
It's an allowed use in an I-2 zone.
it's an allowed use. If you're going to deny it, you need to have a specific use reason for it.
So, let's talk.
And if it's the lack of sidewalk, you need to have information that says there are people who are actually walking up and down the street who are in a safety situation. You can't just, anecdotally say they're doing it or they're not doing it. You need to have expert information. If you want to condition it so that you're keeping the public from coming in and approve it, if that's one of your concerns, you can do the condition. So those are your options. You can't just say, we don't like it, we don't want it.
Can we restrict the public
Sure.
if it's an approved use? Okay.
Yeah, because it's an accessory use to the primary use. So it's
Yeah.
not open to the public. By definition, it's accessory to the primary.
Yeah, that's fine by us.
Got it.
Does BH Healthcare do a methadone program at all?
No, we don't.
It's just substance abuse you do?
So we treat people with mental health and substance use disorders, but we don't.
Substance abuse you do, but you don't do methadone?
No, we don't
Methadone and
prescribe.
Substance abuse are different?
So substance use is somebody is using a substance. Methadone is a treatment, one of the many treatments
For
available
substance.
for somebody that's using primarily like an opiate.
So if you guys are not want to second the motion of denial, we should definitely table it and come back with our stipulation. If everybody's happy with that.
So there's someone, you're waving your hand, Al?
Yep.
So this is not, this is
but
not a public hearing.
You do have the ability to let
Yeah.
us speak.
Do
I'd like to
you
hear
have
it.
something to say?
Come on.
Yes?
How long have
Okay.
you known me?
I'm okay with it. I think
Yeah.
it's
No,
reasonable.
I think it's
If you
fine.
have
Okay, perfect.
information and data, that'd be helpful. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm Al Rose, 40 Valley Road, and also 27 Branford Road. So I do disagree with Dave on just about everything he's done here. And you do know that I was in town government for 40 years. I served on zoning board, ZBA, and I'm a developer, so I've been in front of boards all along. I don't know how this doesn't require a public hearing. What was approved when Robert Sachs took it through and got the building approved was a medical building. So I would ask that you guys read the original approval, and it sounds like, and it may be good for us, because it sounds like the pharmacy makes money. So maybe they're not a nonprofit, and we'll get some taxes on the square footage of the pharmacy. That'll be something. You're a for-profit. So that's great. The tax assessor can tax the little pharmacy there, and we'll get a couple dollars anyway. But anyway,
Not pharmacy,
so
100.
there was no retail available, and if Dave remembers, they put a sign up when they were building it saying, retail space. I called him and I said, Dave, because you guys are, you know that I'm not a fan of the process here. I don't care about what they do. I'm not a fan of the process, because if any one of you needed 1 inch to put a swimming pool in your backyard, you need a public hearing. Here we're going to put a pharmacy in a building that, number one, didn't go to one public hearing. This board hasn't done anything for BH Care. So I would question your leader here on his decision. And guys, you're in charge. Like I said, I got 40 years in town government. He can't do anything without this board agreeing with it. So I would ask that you table it. And I would ask that you look at a couple of things. And I would tell you to go down and look at the snow going down the hill. There's a footpath there.
There's no snow anywhere.
There's snow there.
There is no
I saw
snow.
it tonight.
I
And
looked
I saw
there-
the footpath.
I looked there
And
today.
I live across the street.
And I drove by there today, and I had a hamburger in your
You're
shop.
the fourth planning administrator in 5 years, so be real careful.
There's
So
definitely
I
snow.
looked at the snow today. There's a
I
footpath
live
there.
lives there, there's
near,
snow.
I live near Al Paz's house too.
All right,
so There
that's-
is snow on the
We're not gonna
ground.
fight about
There's
snow.
snow
There's
there,
snow.
and there's a footpath down
It's
there.
not there
Right,
because
let's-
they walked it
You
away.
know what?
They
Be allowed,
dropped off.
I don't want this to
But
get out of
listen to me,
control.
so
All right,
here's
I
my
know,
plea
let's
for-
keep it focused on the application and
That's what I'm
not the
doing.
historical record.
There's people that walk out of there every day onto the deadliest corner, probably in the state, never mind the town. And the state, the curb is 9 inches from the white line on that corner. So to me, and I mentioned this to Dave, I said a couple things. I don't agree with you that you didn't need a public hearing. I think that here's an opportunity where they should go to the state and see if they can put a sidewalk the length of their property. It could start at the parking spot where the sewer reader for the town parks there, and it could run up to their driveway. Then at least the people walking, not only for them, but for anybody on the street, and there really is no foot traffic, but for anyone or even a bicycle, you could get off that corner. So here's a chance, to at least look at whether the state would let you put a sidewalk there or not. And then the other thing would be, again, the way this happened, the way it came down from, the state level, the way I have watched, and you all know that was part of the Rose Farm in the 1920s. A daughter got that half, and we got that side of the road. So I've watched the developers all try to develop that piece for the last 30 years. And every business that tried it, and there were at least 5 of them, got denied by the DOT without putting a turning lane in. So that bothers me, and I get it. We need these facilities, and so, they're getting the benefit of the doubt and getting so on the deadly corner that everybody else that tried to develop that had to put a turning lane in, and so it was cost prohibitive. This didn't happen. So I would look into sidewalks. People do walk there. And if you want, I'll wait for you to come home and I'll show you the snow and the footprints coming down there. Or just stop and go up and sit at the winery and watch there tomorrow morning. The guys get dropped off, they go in, and then they come out. They walk down across the lawn and onto the road, and then they go up and get a bus up by Chowder Pot. So, I got a lot of family members, and we've been here for 380 years. So, and then the only other thing I would really demand, and they should be all for it, since they don't do it, one of the conditions of approval needs to be that they do not distribute methadone there. And there should be no argument, since they had both said that they don't distribute it. So that's what I would,
All right.
that's what I would hope to, because the way, and you guys know I'm pretty skeptical. So it seems like this is baby steps to something bigger. So thank you for letting me speak.
Yeah, thanks, Ed.
We'll clarify that. Methadone is a completely different licensure.
Yeah.
Pharmacies cannot dispense methadone for substance use treatment. That is,
That's why you can put the condition on, because you don't care about it.
we're not interested in. No,
Right,
that's
so
not our
put the
business.
condition on,
That's-
guys.
That's not our business, so you have to have a special licensure for that. None of our 750 pharmacies have that license, nor are we seeking that license. That's a whole different ballgame. That's what I think Paul alluded to, apt. Maybe that's what,
Yeah,
Sarah said
it trickles down to that. So
yeah.
it's the same token as if you have a restaurant, you get an entertainment license, next thing you're a strip club. So you guys got a license here, you sell.
Yeah, but that's not, no, that's a completely separate application and qualification through the DEA that we don't have any.
Okay.
Any questions?
Guys, you want to, should we table it, give it some thought?
I'm denied, but if Bill wants a second to deny it, it's up to you guys. I'm strong with the denial. That's that.
Anyone else have an opinion?
I'm for the town.
Table it?
Yeah, I'll vote to table it. I do want to look at, how prior handled. I mean, I know if a retail pharmacy came up, they would have to have the town, there would have to be a public hearing, so I just don't know how we can put a closed door pharmacy in a building without it.
I think it.
You wouldn't need a public hearing for a drugstore.
Site plan versus special use and.
Well, I would like to
It's
look
just-
into it,
it's
because
a
I just got the packet last Friday, I didn't get to look at it for today. I can't vote on something that.
That's fine, we have,
That's totally reasonable, that's why I was asking if we could
And I think
table
you
it.
said the same thing, you read it earlier today. I mean, I took in all the information you
Yeah,
gave me.
yeah, well,
I would like
that's
to- yeah.
totally reasonable, that's, our role here is to do that, so.
we
can-
have 60
time.
days.
Yeah, we have time. We're gonna table it, Tom. You want to table it? I think we. Sure. Yeah. I think, it might be good since, maybe to get the other members as well. They can review the tape prior and contribute next time as well. If they so choose, they can abstain too, obviously.
$200,000 a year loss in taxes on that corner.
Does somebody want to make
Just so we know.
Yeah, let's.
A motion?
Yeah, let's, someone make a motion.
I make a motion to table application 2025-2, 28 Brentford Road, I-2 zone site plan request under section 23, schedule A, line C-1.2.
Good. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
Abstains? You abstain? Okay. Commissioner Marino has abstained, other three, so the motion passes. So we'll table this till next time. So that is, what, is that March 6th, I think?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, Thursday. First Thursday in March, I think it's the 6th. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Next is under other business, Town Center form-based code presentation and discussion.
Do you want to wait for everybody else? I
kind of feel that way, only,
What is that anyway? That's just the regulations that you sent out before and afters?
So I think I dropped it in your package.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
There's typically what we use is called Euclidean zoning, which has nothing to do with mathematics. It has to do with the city of Euclid, Ohio, that had a Supreme Court ruling that allowed them to zone their town. Typically, what we do in zoning, as you know, is we have sideline setbacks and front setbacks and rear setbacks, and we have different zones where we allow different things like the industrial zone or a business zone or a residential zone, and we try to separate the uses, and we try to make sure that they stay in this little box that we constrain them in. The form-based zoning tries to integrate uses together that are compatible. So you may have mixed use where you would have a business and a residential in the same zone. It's also form-based so that you look at the actual structures and how they relate to each other. So the old New England mill towns that had a main street with structures hard on the road adjoining each other would be something that we would never approve today. Those businesses would have to set back 50 feet from the street, and they'd all have to be 15 feet or 30 feet from their sidelines. So you end up with strip malls that are 50 feet back from the road with the parking all in front. The form-based zone, you have a maximum distance you're allowed to be away from the street, so that you need to get closer to the street and also create amenities between the front of your property and the streetscape, so that you're integrated with the street with sidewalks and trees and benches and porches and porticos and ways to get into the building. A certain amount of windows in the business district would be required so that you don't have big, broad brick structures with no windows. The parking's all going to be in the rear. So think of Northford Center, whereas you drive up Middletown Avenue, you look to your right, and all that strip mall is 50 feet back. With the form-based zoning, you could have structures built close to the street with sidewalks in front of them that would create a sense of place and would tend to slow people down if you had a two-story building 20 feet back from the road.
Parking in the back.
So now
Parking
they
in the
can't
back.
do that, but if you put that in, they can? So right now, they can't do that.
Correct.
So it doesn't mean that they have to, but if you wanted to, you could.
It gives them more flexibility, but it's going to require them to be within that street setback.
So if you, let's say going up into the farm area, if someone was gonna build a shopping plaza, right now with the regulations, you can't come to the street, but if you put this in play, are they required to come to the street, or you could do either, whatever you want?
No, you would be required
more
to be
towards the
closer to the street, yeah. And it would be in the town design district that goes up to the post office. And
So-
it's just that east side of the street.
I don't want to stop discussion, we can talk all night, but I was going to propose that we table this too, not
Yeah,
that,
we'll definitely
not
table that.
only because I know this guy over here, Bob and Ron actually,
Yeah.
are pretty passionate about this, and I think
Yeah.
they want to.
I think it just gives them an introduction.
Yeah,
so
it's good to
that-
get it out there what we're talking.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because there's a
Yeah,
lot
if
of
you
TV.
didn't want to
We
do
got
that.
TV land,
Yeah.
don't forget TV land is out there, and they have their.
Yeah, no,
as
no,
well.
no, but I think we're gonna have the whole presentation and in detail.
And I do have a couple of YouTube videos and slides, and I have sort of a 35, 40-minute presentation that just gives you the basic foundations of the concept.
Yeah. For next time. which
Yeah, well,
when
we could
have
do it
the-
now, or we could do it
Yeah.
next time, but I think we should do it next time. But I'd like to do like a 35, 40-minute just
Yeah.
video not even getting into the details, just
Yeah. let's do it.
introduction.
Yeah. With Bob, I think Bob is very interested in this.
Yeah, I'm just sensitive to that. I mean,
I mean, I'll give you,
unfortunately, they can't be here, but I think both those guys, Bob in particular, I mean, he's. been
so
very-
I'll email you out the links
Yeah.
to the videos,
Oh, good, yeah.
and you guys can play them, because it might be more fun if you play them, because they get a little boring, so.
Is that also on the town web, in case the
Yeah.
town wants to
good
come
idea.
check it out and say, hey,
Yeah.
what are these guys talking about?
Yeah.
Maybe they could,
Yeah,
it's on there or no?
No, but I'll do that.
so let's do that, if you can do it.
This
So-
way the people could understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, they're just like 5 or 6 links to different,
Yeah, that way next time when we go through the detail, anyone interested that has watched the videos have a little more information like we'll have
right,
when you go into details of this.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, good idea.
Right?
And then you can,
Great.
you don't have to sit here and yawn and eat popcorn. Well, I mean, some of it's a
We'd
little,
have to bring popcorn if we were
We
gonna
already
do it.
watched it, we'll be more than that.
Yeah.
some of it's a little dry, but,
You should have a pop quiz to make sure we watch that.
Ah,
oh,
that's a good idea.
Now, I had a question for you, Dave. This is. So is there a limit of how many pharmacies we currently can have in our town? Because I don't want to say yes to a pharmacy that's closed door that I can't use, Al can't use if we wanted to. It can only be for that building. I mean, our pharmacies are shutting down, like, I'm all for pharmacies coming into our town and retail, like another CVS or something, but I just think having one that's closed door that can only be for that person, I have to go set up care with them, I just feel so weird about it, like.
Monopoly. You're always
Yeah, it's
monopolizing
like,
into that,
yeah, and the state, they already have a pharmacy they produce for the whole state, like, why do they need another one? So
It's
stuff
not-
I'll ask them, but.
It's
I
not
would
for
just-
it's not for just the person off the street though. It's for someone under behavioral health care through that company that can
Yeah.
utilize it because they're challenged, hearing from him, they're challenged to meet their individual needs because they have behavioral issues. So it's a service they provide. Yeah, I can go drive out to Guilford to the CVS. They're challenged to do that, so.
Yeah.
I think that I'm the flip side. I'd rather it be closed door and not have people going. Because then we would have, the traffic concerns would be even more. We don't want the normal person going. That's a bad situation now.
I mean, that's
So
just
we don't want to make
everything
it.
I'm looking up.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you had the regulation, you know, we can only have so many.
there is no maximum or distance away from each other. Look at CVS and Walgreen and Branford on Route 1 by the Big Y
Yeah.
in Short Beach Road. They're like 100 yards apart. Guilford too, yeah. It's not like liquor stores.
Yeah, good. That's where I was getting at. We don't need another one.
But let's give it some good thought. So
Yeah.
next time we,
Yes. Have more.
and we can hopefully ask, be good if Bob and Ron could watch the video and contribute next time to get their input as well. That would be helpful.
All right.
All right, so, we're gonna table Schedule A, can we do that?
Yeah,
I'll look at it.
Schedule A or discuss it?
whatever
For
you want.
Bob?
I think we should
Does
wait.
it
I'll make
fit?
a motion to table it.
Yeah.
So,
All right, we'll table that.
can we skip next meeting, go to the following? Or it has to go to the next meeting when you table it? This way we'll give them enough time.
Yeah, it
I don't
goes
know
to
when
the
he's
next
coming back.
meeting, but you can table it again. It's just
Is he
an
coming
agenda
back By
item.
then or no?
Who?
He typically
I think
comes
Bob
back
is just off
in-
now, Bob is off until when?
Oh, I don't know, I don't know where Bob is, I just don't know he's here.
I'm not sure.
He typically comes back sometime in March. He goes to
We're
Florida.
gonna table to, for
Oh,
first
Ron?
meeting in April?
No, Bob.
Oh, Bob goes? I didn't know Bob goes to
I
Florida.
thought he did the last couple of years.
Yes.
He's got a lemon tree board. Why don't we table it till the first meeting in April? This way we're
Why don't we
safe.
just table it and then we can table it again?
That's right.
You can do
Yeah.
that?
All right.
That
Yeah,
way
we'll
you're
table
not
it.
constricted.
Yeah. Second?
Do we need a motion to table these two things?
No.
No, I didn't think so, so we'll move on, okay. So, number 8, town planners report.
I have no report.
No report. Okay,
What was the report?
no report.
What's it supposed to be?
Anything that's coming up, things on the radar, but there's nothing other than these things we've been talking about. Okay, so I guess we're at the motion to adjourn.
This would be,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
second?
All in favor?
All right.
All right, the meeting is adjourned.